Good afternoon, our dear viewer. Thank you so much for choosing the National Broadcaster, coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. This 9th day of July 2023. My name is Sandra Kahunde. Welcome once again to this special edition, the weekly news roundup, bringing you some of the top stories that did transpire during the entire week that you could have missed out. Now, straight into activities this Sunday, taking a look at the head of state. President Yoweri Museveni this week extended warm congratulations to Eunice Appeal, the victorious Uganda People's Congress winner in the Oyam by-elections, while acknowledging Igola Jr. of the National Resistance Movement for a closely contested race. President Yoweri Museveni demanded action against those tampering with ballots, considering such acts as treasonous. He urged the NRM to pursue legal avenues to address any irregularities, emphasizing in leadership. President Museveni cautioned the persistence of pre-ticked ballots. He criticized the opposition for engaging the similar activities, particularly in Kampala, and called for increased vigilance among NRM officials to detect and prevent such occurrences. He advocated for the adoption of electronic voting with thumbprints. The president urged members of the UPC and DP, including notable individuals like Rwakasisi, John Kawaga and Joyce Sebugwao, to educate their party members about past mistakes, highlighting the potential benefits of a united front of Uganda, East Africa and individual actors involved. President Museveni highlighted the need to move away from sterile and nonsensical politics of cheap popularity. During his visit to Oyam, he noted a lack of agricultural diversification, specifically the absence of coffee, fruits, poultry, piggery, dairy and fish farming. He pledged to investigate this situation further in August and encouraged the adoption of the government's Operation Wealth Creation Initiative. President Museveni criticized the encroachment on wetlands and stressed their preservation as crucial water sources for irrigation, of using them for rice cultivation and other crops. President Museveni also expressed sorrow over the passing of Amponyi, a prominent supporter and economic actor, extending his condolences to the family and all Ugandans. Now, in other activities, a former Erut North Member of Parliament, together with 3 others, died in a fatal accident along Karuma-Pakwach Highway. The former legislator was in a company of 5 people heading for a traditional marriage in Nebi when their car lost control and overturned several times, claiming 4 lives in the morning of Saturday.
Kanado wano te kilo wani chao kene goro wa birutie wano ko bene oba wa kwa wa ti chingi wan ko mo biru pi chingi wano ko ko mda pinyi akara wano to yini ko ni wano to yin mo wan puruti yin jo wa woro tinu wa woro ye tell we ye na tell wa da do ti ye teni.
And from there, for 3 years that I took in Parliament, we were very, very close buddies, very close indeed. And we formed an activist group called Ture Adek, where we made it clear that our objective for the 5 years is to fight for the common good of the people of Lango. And we started with a campaign to ensure that electricity distribution and use in Lira is sufficient. We led a very effective campaign demonstration in Lira's town, and we succeeded. In fact, we changed the whole management of electricity in Lira and Lango region. We were arrested together, we were beaten. He was badly beaten by the state, by the way. We used to call him Abajan. He nicknamed me Abatanyen, meaning I'm the new fighter. For him, he's the old fighter. So this had been kind of a man you would rely on. He was very confident, He was very determined. He was very independent in thinking. He was somebody who could not betray you. When you define a mission, a person would go for it. You remember when people are fighting in Parliament, when MPs were being beaten, he was among the few MPs who were badly beaten because of fighting against the removal of the age limit. He was among them. So had been fighting for constitutionalism, rule of law, rights of the citizens, and all things which are about rights of the people. Goodmai was always on the forefront. I will dearly miss him. I will miss his courage, his charisma, his ability to work for the people relentlessly without a bribe.
Ruchiga district residents are grappling of Apollo Anyengamehe, affectionately known as Amponye. Anyengamehe lost his life in a car accident around Itojo Town Council and Tungamo district on Thursday evening. He was enrolled from Kampala to Ruchiga to attend the burial of a neighbor when the accident occurred.
The late Nyagamehe was not only a prominent figure in the business world, but also a respected presence in the political arena, serving as the chairperson for the National Resistance Movement in Ruchiga district.
Our role model, our icon, to die in an accident, it was a very big shock, and we are still in a shock up to now. Aponye is... to me, he's been the biggest Ugandan businessman, not only in Kampala, but in the whole of Uganda. Wherever you go, most especially in agriculture, in Bunyoro, in Toro, everybody knows Aponye. And they all talk about Aponye as a good person.
Oscar Kampura, the Ruchiga district speaker, commended the deceased for his commitment to fostering peaceful politics in an area previously plagued by turmoil.
But this man Aponye mentored us, guided us on how we can manage affairs of leadership. He would come, sit us together as NRM people, even those from other parties. We would talk and make sure that we put things right and make sure that we lead our people taking the right direction. We have lost a man who supported and geared the development of the district. When you look at the best buildings in our district, they are for Aponye. He was contributing greatly to the local revenue that we get in the district. And as a district, we have lost. We really speechless and short of words.
According to Gule Byabagambi, the deceased brother-in-law, Nyagamehe played a pivotal role in promoting unity and togetherness within their family and the wider community.
It was a family in a cooperation. Abokuba abanabe hehibona babiri ni bakorana mu company. So cooperation yabo ebiri ni agenda y'umumisho.
The late Nyagamehe also received praise for his contributions to the growth of churches and mosques in the region without discrimination.
So since we started the construction of this church, Mr. Apollo Nyagamehe helped us in the construction, has contributed almost 90% of this church construction.
Burial arrangements are currently underway, and James Twijuche, the mayor of Muhanga Town Council, announced that a preparatory meeting will be held later in the day. On Sunday at 3 p.m, the body will be transported to his home in Lubowa for an official vigil at the same location. A requiem mass will be held at Rubaga Cathedral on Monday at 10 a.m. On Tuesday, the body will arrive at St. Luke Muhanga Catholic Church for a mass, followed by a vigil at Nyagamehe's home in Muhanga Town Council. Finally, the burial will begin on Wednesday, July 11th, 2023 at 10 a.m. with a mass at his home. However, the schedule is subject to change and any further updates will be provided accordingly.
Government is to increase the number of High Court judges from 83 to 151 in a move aimed at easing access to justice in the country. Parliament this week agreed with the government after adopting a motion moved by Norbert Mao, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Parliament has also criticized the recent spark of DNA testing, tasking government to guide the nation accordingly. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayewa, says the situation has been mishandled and innocent children are falling victims.
The DNA testing has of recent become so common, with most of the unlucky players publicizing the results through various media.
Innocent children are falling victims. No, you don't know what your parents were doing, you don't know whatever happened. All of a sudden you see someone saying, "Stop using my name."
Parliament, backed by the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayewa, has found that the situation has been mishandled and may cause further challenges, including suicide.
DNA test shouldn't be compulsory, and they should not even actually encourage it. We as leaders at personal level are discouraging it because all children are important, whether you was or not.
Now, at least the mothers, for them they know who the father of the children. But the men...
The quality of laboratories providing the DNA services is also a question aching the MPs.
Because they want to make money out of this. Some people are looking at it as business, and we are not sure whether they are genuine or not.
The Minister of Health, she will come to Parliament, even now through the Lead of Government Business, to give a list of laboratories which are accredited and authentic so that we can guide the country on if you want to carry out a test.
Parliament has, through a motion moved by Dickson Kateshumba, the MP for Shima Municipality, appreciated President Yoweri Museveni for what was described as a clear and precise exposition of government policy as contained in the recent State of the Nation address.
His Excellency the President outlined the economic priorities of government in the next financial year that include peace and security of persons and property, effective implementation of PDM and MYOGA.
The same afternoon session witnessed Parliament in agreement with the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, to increase the number of High Court judges from 83 to 151. Mao asserts that since 2017, when the number was increased from 49 to 83, the population has increased, including increased awareness of their legal rights, leading to a more litigious population.
Increase in population and crime rate leading to high demand for judiciary services and court use. B, acute case backlog.
As Parliament, at some point we demand for value for money. We can only achieve that value for money by having enough members on the bench.
Minister Norbert Mao says about 83 trillion has since been held up in courts due to disputes, and the move to enhance the sector will unclog the court system since the funding for judiciary has gradually increased.
These measures will deal with case backlog that continues to be a source of frustration to many citizens. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's the ultimate goal of government to ensure that every county will have a magistrate's court, and there will be 8 circuits of the Court of Appeal.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week urged East African Community member states to embrace Swahili language as a uniting factor to boost trade in the region. This was during celebrations to mark this year's International Swahili Day held here in Kampala. The function was officiated by Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, who represented President Yoweri Museveni.
Swahili Day has been observed today with different dignitaries from the African Union and East African Community member states in attendance. The event was officiated by the Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, who represented President Museveni.
African Community Affairs.
The President urged African countries to take advantage of the East African populace and enhance economic integration with Swahili as a uniting factor.
The combined population of the East African Community is now 200 180 million people. We must take advantage of this big regional market to grow, guarantee the prosperity of our people.
In her remarks, the First Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, urged the East African Secretariat to hasten the implementation of adopting Swahili language at the East African Legislative Assembly as passed by the East African heads of state.
As the Council of Ministers, I think we stop telling people that the summit directed. We should be telling people that we are now going to amend the treaty. It's now responsibility to move to amend the treaty so that our people are able to speak both French and Swahili officially, the institutions and the organs.
John Chrysostom Mwingo, the Minister for Higher Education, says Uganda is moving towards integrating Swahili into the country's education system.
Starting from cabinet, our cabinet, every Monday, they are subjected to Swahili lessons. And I think I've been trying to understand whether this is happening in any country in the world. It's only in Uganda where cabinet ministers start the day with the Swahili lessons. Isn't that wonderful, people?
The East African Secretariat also pledged support towards the East African Swahili Commission and commended its support towards promoting Swahili in the East African member states.
It has also underscored the regional and continental efforts toward popularization and promotion of the Swahili as a tool for wider integration and sustainable development.
Today marks the end of the 3-day celebrations of the International Swahili Day here in Kampala. The mantle now lies upon Ugandans, with whom some abandon the language due to historical reasons. But it will be a must-learn if Uganda is to achieve its inclusive agenda in the East African community. Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
The Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, this week advised public to embrace coffee growing to enable them improve their income. Katikkiro said this to coffee traders that paid a courtesy visit at Bulange Mengo in a campaign condemned Luwalo Lwafe, where people bring support to build the kingdom. He also recommended parents to help their children have skills of farming to enable them survive even in their absence. Over 20 million shillings has been contributed from coffee traders and learners from different schools in a campaign Luwalo Lwafe to support kingdom works.
But to show them the right way that will enable them survive in future. And it is wrong to make the children believe that agriculture can only be carried out by peasants and, disadvantaged people. It's wrong to make the children believe that you only have a good life when you are a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. We need to show them that you can make progress as a farmer, that you can have good life as a farmer. That's why I urge all the farmers in the kingdom to up the standards of their homes. The king would like to see that the farmers have got electricity in their homes, they've got flowing water, they've got clean homes, nice houses. That's how we shall have a mindset change for the children, for them to understand that you can have a good life like any other professional when you engage in agriculture, when you grow coffee. So it's very gratifying. Makes me very happy to see that the children are here and the farmers of coffee are here and the businessmen and traders of coffee are here. And I thank you very much for the efforts you've taken to ensure that the children are here so that they learn about the importance of coffee to our country.
In an effort to ensure the sustainable conservation of valuable documents and knowledge for future generations, Makerere University this week organized a 2-day hybrid seminar on preventive conservation and disaster prevention of documentary heritage in Africa. The event, which attracted participants from across the continent, aimed to promote the importance of preserving historical artifacts and records.
Generated, knowledge must be managed, and knowledge must be preserved. A hybrid seminar on documentary heritage that attracted delegates from across Africa has ended at Makerere University with an appeal for gender balance in documenting heritage across Africa.
Gender equality, which is one of UNESCO's priority, is not unfortunately reflected in the memory of the world programs. Women are unfortunately invisible from the archives. They are invisible from the narrative, on the historical narrative, and the issues relating to gender equality are not prominently reflected in the memory of the world.
During the seminar, delegates had the opportunity to explore Uganda's rich documentary heritage through a visit to the National Museum, The delegates, hailing from various African countries, were captivated by the museum's impressive collection, showcasing Uganda's cultural diversity. They indulged in the enchanting melodies of indigenous Ugandan songs and even engaged in playing traditional instruments, immersing themselves in the country's vibrant heritage. The opening ceremony of the seminar was graced by Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academics, Associate Professor Umar Kakumba, and hosted by Professor Edsam Magara from the East African School of Library and Information Science.
Be able to preserve and manage the information and the records, because these constitute our heritage and our existence. You don't know where you are going as a nation. The generations emerge from time to time, but they will be headless, okay? Or they will lack the sense of direction without having the documentary and information.
Prominent figures such as Misako Ito, the regional UNESCO advisor for communication and information in Africa, as well as senior university lecturers, administrators, and heritage experts also addressed the gathering.
Movements, I think that's an important, series of documentary heritage which is dispersed in many countries in Africa and can come collectively as significant for the region.
We are contributing to that visibility matrix. So I thank you for your effort.
The significant event was organized in collaboration with Makerere University, UNESCO Member of the World Subcommittee Education and Research Africa Working Group, and the Uganda National Commission for UNESCO.
To ensure that we work hard to preserve our documentary heritage and also provide accessibility through increasing awareness about the importance of documentary heritage.
By emphasizing the value of documentary heritage, Makerere University and its partners hope to raise awareness and promote effective disaster prevention strategies for preventing these invaluable records for generations to come.
I've carried some of these devices, tapes, so that you can have a feel of what we do. The institution is clocking 70 years, so it began during the protectorate era.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
UBC Weekly News Roundup. Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development this week urged young women to tap into the opportunities provided by vocational training to acquire skills that can help them from fast-growing sectors like housing and hospitality. This was echoed by the Commissioner for Youth and Children's Affairs in the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Chate Kamondo, during the launch of Influencing Inclusive Access to Girls Education project.
Girls often face more challenges in attaining education and as a result often drop out of school. It is against this backdrop that the African Women's Development and Communities Network, FIMET, has launched Influencing Inclusive Access to Girls Education project. The Commissioner for Youth and Children's Affairs in the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Chate Kamondo, launched the project in Kampala and appealed to young women and girls to tap into vocational training to acquire skills for employment.
The issue of skills development, especially among the youth, is becoming a top priority by government. We believe that every person should have at least a skill, a practical skill, he or she can practice. And so in the new curriculum, they are introducing things that will enable girls and boys at school to get skills at school. So that even when you dropped out for one reason or the other, there is something that you can use your hands to do. So both at primary, at secondary level, there are practical skills that have been introduced at schools. And this happens in many other countries.
According to African Women's Development and Communication Network, FEMNET, the aim is to minimize barriers that hinder girls' education.
Or other stakeholders. So we worked with the girls and they went through the policies that currently govern the TVETs, and they identified the issues that they feel are not represented in the policies. So going forward, we're going to be bringing on board government officials and other stakeholders who are in charge of the policies, and we look at reviewing these policies. We're looking forward to reviewing these policies and having the girls put input that is in their interest in those policies.
FEMNET is working with government vocational training institutions to skill young girls.
It is not for those who have faith, but it's for those who have passion for what they do. Go there, just follow your heart, do what you're passionate about, and you'll be successful. And you earn great money, because it's not like someone will just tell you, I'm giving you this limited amount of salary. It's you who is earning upon your own skills.
Because long ago, ladies were looked as inferior people. But now these days, we have to show them that you have the power as we ladies, that you can do something that is lightening our country. What inspired me is that I wanted to become an engineer. But
stakeholders in education are trying to promote girls' education because it strengthens economies and reduces inequality.
Leaders and residents of Nabilatuk district are worried of the current state of Nabilatuk Road, which connects to Moroto, Nakapiripiti and Mbale. According to the district leadership, UNRWA contracted a cube route construction company in 2020 at the cost of 5.7 billion shillings to improve the road to first-class Maram. But to date, the road is still in bad shape. The District Security Committee, led by RDC Chair Yunesa Nyonjo, this week toured the 47-kilometer road.
The 47 kilometers Nabilatuk Road is the one that connects the district to markets in Nakapiripirit, Mbale and Moroto districts, where residents buy food supplies and other commodities. In 2020, Uganda National Roads Authority contracted Cab Route Construction Company Limited to improve the Nabilatuk Road to first-class Maram at a cost of 5.7 billion Uganda shillings.
Nabilatuk Lokapel Junction.
By the month of August, the 21st of August, 2021. But the company has worked on that road. There is no impact at all. They have not shown. Every moment we see vehicles running, and every moment we raise an alarm, vehicles come and work for like a stretch of 1 kilometer and run away.
According to Nabilatuk leaders, they have tried to engage the contractor several times, but to no avail.
Since I came here, 2022, I got information that this road had been contracted to a company called Chuburut. I convened a meeting with the UNRWA in 2022, but Chuburut...
Of the contract of Kibrut, there is an extension running for 6 months. Now, before we could even finish a meeting, we saw vehicles arriving that they were trying to inspect the road. Now, what is happening? Kibrut, people have heaped soil, first-class soil. You know, when the president said...
Public outcry is now to the effect that there seems to be a little bit of poor quality of work being done on the road. You can imagine, as you've seen, that there are quite a number of sections with heaps of maram, and yet even longer sections have no maram yet.
Leaders say the contractor came and poured heaps of soil on the road for now 2 months.
We were coming for this, for the ordination in Moroto, and everywhere vehicles were skidding. Which maram skid? So maram is supposed to be gravel.
The public is in outcry. The leadership is concerned. We have, in my office, I've never seen a document about so-called Chuburu. In fact, I'm guessing that this could be a different company.
We get some of our supplies from Moroto, like cement. We come and buy in Moroto. What Kibrut has done, it has cut all this. They has cut our attempts to develop Nablatu. It is cutting us to starvation.
Relatedly, the District Security Committee, led by Nabila, took Resident District Commission toward the roadworks, and these are their findings.
National Roads Authority to quickly come in to intervene and ensure that we identify, first of all, who is doing work here. 2, which work is he doing. 3, the magnitude of the work. 4, the quality of the work. 5, we need to have necessary documentations with us as a district leadership.
Maram must also seen. To us, we feel also it's not good quality because the maram is mixed with some. But even as we speak, the contractor is not on site.
Leaders claim their efforts to engage UNRA to terminate Kabrut have not yet yielded fruits.
Instilling theoretical knowledge in learners may be good, but harnessing talent is better. This is why State Minister for Fisheries Helen Adowa wants academics married with promoting talent to produce more job creators. Adowa was speaking as a guest of honor at a sports day event at Ateso Primary School in Soroti District, where she challenged parents to nurture their children well.
It is a word for parents.
Not everyone should be everybody.
An appeal to pupils and students.
You must discover yourself.
And an upload for the government.
They have seen that a child should be well balanced.
This is what transpired at Teso Primary School in Soroti District. Pupils proved to the country that talent could be a close sister to academics. Smart like army officers, they were organized and coordinated like trained Navy personnel. This is what they displayed to the excitement of revelers of the day. State Minister for Fisheries Helen Adowa was the chief guest.
When you are active now, you will always be active. You will not have time to waste. And you will always have a dream to be somewhere. So my babies, continue dreaming. You're very smart.
Adowa, herself a teacher by training and profession, once more emphasis put on co-curricular activities as prioritized in the new education curriculum by government.
They have seen that a child should be well balanced. We just don't need academicians. We must bring a child in a wholesome way.
Capable and quality leadership in future.
It gives morale to a parent who pays fees, not just to be bombarded every time you come to the school. You are told your child has not done well in maths, your child has not done well in English. But when you see your child commanding a parade, when you see your child smart, not the same kind of uniform, it helps a parent to be motivated.
In agreement with the minister, our pupils, teachers and religious leaders.
Even if you become weak in academics, your talent exposes you and you go ahead being exposed to different worlds.
These activities of sports prunes children's character because when they love their activity, they will behave well.
The occasion to harness talent featured athletics, tongue twisters and somersaulting, among other leisure activities. Henry Okrut, UBC, Soroti.
UBC Weekly News Roundup. Uganda Wildlife Authority this week outlined new guidelines that will drive its business operations, especially those dealing with licensed tour operators. This was during the Uganda Wildlife Authority annual stakeholders meeting to lay strategies and awarding of outstanding conservationists at Skies Hotel, Nagoro.
Uganda Wildlife Authority will only deal with licensed tour operators and also targets increment of permit booking fee in order to safeguard the institution's credibility and maximize revenue collection.
When they are registered, they actually go with somebody who is recommending them. So if he tries to fleece somebody, we can find the one who recommended and say, who is this guy? Where is he? Get them arrested and they face the law. We have had several cases where unregistered tour operators, first of all, we don't know them. Uganda Tourism Board doesn't know them. Any of the associations don't know them. So they come, they advertise, they get visitors here, they pick the money for maybe even 2 weeks, and they get the visitor arrive here, put them in a car and abandon them. So the idea of raising the 30% is to reduce the speculators so that we get more serious business people who book because they know they will sell this permit. That means we will free up more permits to actually be utilized, because right now, yes, we get the 30% because somebody paid 30% but failed to come. But should we not be getting 100%? We should.
To foster long-term sustainability of the wildlife tourism, Martin Mugara, the State Minister for Tourism, has stressed the significance of regular discussions as this in order to enhance conservation effectiveness.
So I think there is commitment from where I sit, but we can only achieve this if we continue working as a team. So let's continue to engage more. Maybe I will also request, I had the Masaba to talk about it, that we continue engaging more with the private sector, but also want to invite the private sector. Our offices are always open.
Uganda Wildlife Authority has also introduced age limit for gorilla and chimpanzee tracking and assured the public of the institution's commitment to progress and growth.
We have reviewed, and management would like to announce some changes that we adjust the ages for chimpanzee and gorilla tracking to 12 years. When you choose to book permits online, and we have opened up that portal for reservations. When you reserve, you must pay for them in 72 hours.
Meanwhile, conservationists who have been impressive in aiding conservation and enhancement of best wildlife practices were awarded by Uganda Wildlife Authority. Crispus Arineitwe, Kenyana Rebecca, UBC News.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Joko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Introducing the Infinix Note 30 series in partnership with Airtel Uganda, a smartphone where style meets functionality. Take charge of the day with special features like the 108MP triple camera and 68 watts first charge, and the best part is you can use this phone to charge other phones. You also will enjoy free 3GB from Airtel every month for 3 months on each new device purchased. Dial *100#, select data and devices to get your free data. The Infinix Note 30 series Spark, a connection in partnership with Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The National Council for Higher Education, as part of its 20th anniversary celebrations, has organized a blended public lecture under the theme Financing of and Investment in Higher Education in Uganda. This public lecture will engage higher education experts, stakeholders, and the public to examine the importance of finance and investment in higher education in Uganda and provide a platform for reviewing, developing, and implementing appropriate strategies that will enable the delivery of quality higher education. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Joseph Muvawala, Executive Director, National Planning Authority. The panelists of this public lecture are Mr. Ramadan Gobi, Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Dr. Florence Maega Nakaiwa, Deputy Executive Secretary in charge of Planning, Resource Mobilization and Management, RUFORAM, Professor Waso Abalunywa, Higher Education Management Expert, Dr. Ruth B. Nzikakasolo, Project Director, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Dr. Fred Muhumuza, a Development Economist. The moderator for this public lecture will be Mr. Robert Kabushenga. The venue is Serena Conference Hall, Kampala on Tuesday, 11th July 2023 at 2 p.m. The attendance is by invitation and open to the public via a Zoom webinar ID 818-0947-8583, passcode 017219, and also live stream on our YouTube channel NCHE Uganda. For details, please visit www.unche.or.ug or contact the Senior Public Relations Officer, Mr. Saul Waigolo, on 0782-121-073 or email address swaigolo@unche.or.ug.
Welcome back. Good to know you're still watching and following UBC Weekly News Roundup. Now to business update, Stanbic Bank Uganda early this week launched a sustainability report that enders eat more to its clients across the country. The 149-page report that among others highlights the adaptability to sustainable development goals was launched by the Minister for General Duties, Justin Kasule Lumumba.
The Minister in charge of General Duties, Office of the Prime Minister, Justin Kasule Lumumba, has emphasized that Stanbic's achievements as a private sector entity align with the government's objectives of economic development and poverty reduction.
The conditions, the environment, and making sure we have a better world tomorrow. Because we have one Earth, tomorrow we shall not have another one. It's the same. So we must make it better today for those to find it better than it is today.
entitled Report to Society. The report underscores Stanbic's unwavering commitment to forging a sustainable future through strategic investments in initiatives that foster positive socio-economic and environmental outcomes.
Also seeks to drive positive economic impact by driving job creation through enterprise growth, financial inclusion, and infrastructure development.
The chief executive of Stanbic Bank Uganda Holdings Limited, Andrew Mashanda, emphasized the organization's resolute dedication to sustainable growth.
Today we present the first independent report to society, audited for the first time ever in Uganda. I think it's a good time to clap.
He expressed Stanbic's dual ambition of securing current growth opportunities while preserving future prospects for generations to come.
Stanbic Uganda's sustainability strategy aims at creating a positive social, economic, and environmental impact through specific activities.
The chief executive of Stanbic Bank, Anjuko, stressed the significance of creating societal value to benefit shareholders. She spotlighted Stanbic's comprehensive sustainability strategy, which prioritizes meaningful impacts on communities and stakeholders.
We believe in creating a sustainable economy to empower our people to build better futures for themselves. The social impact, we believe in empowerment and access to actual education, healthcare, and responsible business. Kathy has already covered this ground.
The head of sustainability at Stanbic Uganda, Kathy Adengo, underscored the company's steadfast commitment to fostering positive social, economic, and environmental impacts.
Financial inclusion remains critical. Digital solutions are the way forward for the way the financial sector is going to create financial inclusion for Ugandans. We must reach people at the last mile. We will talk further about the interventions and innovations like our FlexiPay platform and all the different work we're doing with circles.
Themed, We Believe in Uganda, the report further highlights Stanbic's impactful corporate social investment programs. Notable among these initiatives is the National Schools Championship, which equips young individuals with vital skills, and the corporate social for safe motherhood and influential partnership with the Ministry of Health.
Stanbic for her is in many ways, is in three ways. First is to educate the women and teach them and the incubator how to do business. The second one is to give them a leg up.
Sudat Kai, UBC News.
When we record
Bridge High, a high school TV drama that you do not want to miss. Who takes the title for the most popular and cool girl and boy in schools? Who are the good students? Which part were you during the high school times? Come and be part of this epic high school series movie premiere as you relive your school drama times. Tickets go for 30,000 ordinary and 50,000 VIP. Early bird will pay 25k and 45k respectively. 21st July 2023 at the National Theatre. Contact us on 0784 930190 or 0703 826623 for details. Sponsored by Bella Wine, Charism, UBC and U24 TV. Welcome back. Now, more updates coming through for you. A UPDF contingent under the East African Community, a regional force, is hosting a delegation of the technical evaluation team at the headquarters in Nyongera, Chiwanja, North Kivu, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The team will carry out evaluations and assessments as per the directives from the East African Community heads of state. The East African Community Technical Evaluation Team, led by the Burundi National Defense Force, a Deputy Commander Land Force, Major General Agnes Simbomana has today visited the UPDF contingent force operating in DRC. This force speaks its mandate from the East African Community Regional Force to serve as a peacekeeping mission in North Kivu, DRC. Major General Agnes Simbomana was accompanied by a team of Stephen Military, 7 Walaka Hairoba, at the UPDF contingent commander. The evaluation exercise is a directive from the East African Committee Heads of State Extraordinary Summit of the East African Committee Heads of States on 31st May 2023, sitting in Bujumbura, capital of the Republic of Burundi. The summit directed the East African Committee Secretariat to constitute a technical evaluation team to conduct assessments and evaluate the implementation of the mandate of the East African Community Regional Force. The exercise was concluded by conducting a physical assessment of UPDF combat readiness in one of Uganda's contingent combat unit teams commanded by Major General Major Douglas K. Asimwe and other staff officers.
Uganda ne Uganda waranji baktusako manrane chikona tena tekobo seko season yakuna savu July kuma Mount Papa's Hall usasule kwa MTN mobile money usasule gumu chitundu MTN usasule nega komitano nika sistemu kagatano stamu enda munana hasha kwa MTN ufune tiketi yokati wabula kumliango usasule mitwale 2 yepe mitwale 5 atemeza ya milioni 2 munana July koni hotel mkono mwenda July nikan resort erweza 15 July France Africa Jinja abiri mbili July Maria Flema Saka abiri mwenda July Afro Club Eka Sangati ate yoyo noku yingi na mutualo wafujinidwa musente Talent Africa Victoria University Suzu Property Consultants Pepsi Max Uganda Warranty ne
MTN.
Pleasure to have your company once again. Sports, before we let you go enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Uganda Prisons Assistant Commissioner General Hilary Bisaga this week applauded Mount St. Mary's College, Namagunga, for involvement in sports. This was during the institution's Sports Day.
Contrary to what many think, Mount St. Mary's College Namagunga, which is one of Uganda's oldest and grandest post-primary institutions, shines beyond academic excellence. This has been exemplified during the college's 2023 Sports Day, at which the girls were excellent in football, athletics and cycling, among others.
They played football, they played hockey, they played basketball, they played netball, lawn tennis, badminton, table tennis, chess, throws. In the throws we have shot put, javelin and discus.
The Sports Day was graced by Uganda Prisons Assistant Commissioner General Hilary Bisanga.
Developing talent begins at a young age, and this is the right place to identify talent. So developing sports at school levels is one of the things the government should do, because you cannot get great sportsmen and women just from the community. You need to source them from organized communities like schools, like armed forces, and so forth.
The school head teacher, Reverend Sister Regina Nabawanuka, confirms that aside from embracing the lower education curriculum, Namagunga has historically engaged in sports like hockey at national level.
Sports makes the girls physically fit. It helps them in a lot of things. It creates unity, and just the way you can see, it relieves them from the stress of books. And also we know that these days sports is one of the subjects that we have in the new curriculum, and we are looking forward to producing great sports ladies for the country and for the world.
Okay, does it stop here, or they have a future?
No, they have a future, because our sports teams, for example, hockey, lawn tennis, basketball, badminton, participated in the regional, in the zonal, the national, and now 2 teams are going for the East African Games in Rwanda.
The Sports Day competition was between the houses of Orion, Vega, Triton and Aquila that emerged victorious after collecting 212 points.
We won last year and we also won this year. This is due to the many years of losses we had. We had like 20 years of losses. But once we won we do not want to stop winning. We want to keep on winning. So we get more points to our runners and other field games. Yes.
Thank you so much for making time to be a part of this newscast, the weekly news roundup, a special edition that comes your way every Sunday afternoon. My name is Sandra Kahunde from the entire team behind the scene. Wish you a beautiful Sunday and of course a fruitful week ahead. Keep watching the National Broadcaster.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uganda waranchi bakusako manra nechiko na tena tekobo seko season ya yakuna 7 July